I found many students ask me why they're too slow moving from backhand to forehand or looping backspin. It's a footwork problem. Many players make the mistake of moving their left foot first, then their right foot. Let's fix the problem of being too late after making a push. In a match, you make a push, your opponent jams your forehand, and you become passive. Let's work on this. That's the shot we're talking about. When you receive serve, if the opponent serves short to your forehand, what do you feel when you try to forehand loop the next ball? It feels like there's sometimes not enough time. Players, after you push and the ball comes back to your forehand, do you also feel jammed? The problem is that the quality of your push is too low. He's going easy on you. In a real match, he'd hit a fast, long push to the wide angle or your middle. Also, the ball speed of your push is too slow. Let's talk about the rhythm of table tennis. If it were me, I would always push this ball, but I'd start by generating this kind of speed. It's impossible for him to push it to a wide angle because he'd likely make an error. When you execute a heavy backspin push, his return will have to be a touch or a soft lift, right? At my level, if he pushes with heavy spin, I'll definitely hit the net if I try to push it back with spin. So typically, when someone adds heavy spin, you have to lift the ball to get it over the net. And a ball that's been lifted is much easier to attack, isn't it? The reason you're late is because the quality of your previous shot was too low. Of course, for many players, this is a tactic. In a match, they'll give you one short ball, followed immediately by a long one. That push isn't accidental, it's a tactic designed to make you produce a weak loop, which they can then counterattack. It's intentional. So let's address why we're often late. Your push when stepping in is too slow. In my opinion, for a push, spin shouldn't be the top priority. Speed and placement should be. Because no matter how much backspin you put on a push, it can't beat a topspin loop. A skilled player can always loop it. The only difference is the quality of their loop. So you need to focus on your push. First, generate speed that is faster than your opponent expects. When I push with speed and he lifts it, I can then attack him, right? This way, you seize the initiative. When you execute a fast, long push, his return will be high, making it easy for you to attack. But because your current push is too slow, the quality of your opponent's return becomes much better. Let's analyze why your push is slow. It's because when you step in, you're not treating the push as an offensive setup. You're treating it as a transitional shot, with a mindset of, just get it on the table. Why can't you push faster? Because your stroke is just a passive touch or a block. This makes it hard to push long. I have an additional follow-through motion downwards. Many players just stop their stroke abruptly. I think amateur players stop their motion because they're afraid of making errors. So they resort to a small, neutral blocking motion. Since there's no friction, they can't add much forward momentum. When you stop your stroke, your racket is still high above the table. There's no downward follow-through, which is why you lack ball speed. I've asked them, and this is how they all perform the stroke. So what's the correct way? My racket almost touches the table. I only stop the motion at the very end of the follow-through. You must follow through. But right now, you just stop. This results in a high ball that your opponent can smash. So, on your backhand push, you must accelerate through the ball. Don't stop at contact. Follow through and send the ball forward. See how long the ball goes now? That ball went all the way to the baseline, and I didn't even use much power. I just completed the motion, and the ball naturally traveled the distance. First point, your push needs to be long enough. Second point, your recovery after the push is too slow. Let's rally. Your current problem is that you wait for the ball to leave your racket before you start recovering, which makes you slow. If I execute a fast, long push first, what's the probability he can return it short? Very low. The next ball is very likely going to be long as well. So the issue is this. After pushing, don't wait for your opponent's return to start your recovery. For any short ball, whether it's a flick or a push, you must immediately spring back to your ready position after contact. This will give you more time and a better opportunity for your next shot. Your current rhythm is: you push, then you wait for his ball to come back, and only then do you recover. That's why you feel late. After any short ball, don't wait for the return. I recover instantly. The same goes for a flick. For a short side spin serve, I flick and immediately recover. Don't wait for his return to start your recovery. This way, you'll be ready for a counter push or to initiate an attack. So, first, fix these things, execute a long push with quality and speed, then focus on a quick recovery. The third point is your lateral movement. You always back away. Players, look, if you back away like this, you'll be out of position. Why are you backing away from the table? When you push to your wide forehand, you missed 2 loops. It wasn't a problem with your hand. I could clearly see that the ball was making contact at the very edge of your racket. You didn't wrap around the ball, you didn't get enough friction, because your contact point wasn't on the sweet spot. Missing the sweet spot is a footwork issue. So, for the third point, when we step, you must anticipate that if you push to their forehand, the return angle will be wider, which means your movement must cover more ground. Another key point, your movement must be lateral, parallel to the table. Never, ever back away. If you back away, you'll be even farther from the backspin ball, which doesn't travel far, making it harder to reach. If you move forward and laterally, you can loop directly and get solid contact with your body weight behind the shot. If you retreat, you won't reach the ball. The old style of opening up your hips that much is a thing of the past. Today, it's about staying compact and using your body to support the shot. Master these 3 points first, and then we'll address the loop itself. For a half-long ball to your forehand after a backhand push, should you step with your left foot or right foot first? After I push, should I loop it like this? Or like this? For this ball, you must step with your left foot first, then your right. You can't just plant your right foot, it's too difficult to get the timing right. However, for the very first attack on a short ball it's okay, but not for a rally ball that requires recovery. Second point, lateral movement. I found many students ask me why they're too slow moving from backhand to forehand or looping backspin. It's a footwork problem. Many players make the mistake of moving their left foot first, then their right foot. If you move left then right, you'll be completely jammed and out of position. When I do a crossover step, I start with my right foot. Watch my feet carefully. When the ball comes, I cross over, then execute the shot. I get there in one crossover step. Many players use 2 steps, left, then right. You're taking an extra step. Many of you move your left foot, then your right foot moves with your arm. This is same arm, same leg motion, which is awkward and makes it hard to find your contact point. I get there in one single crossover step. If he pushes to my mid-table, watch my right foot. After I serve, my right foot steps across to the middle. If the ball goes to a wide angle, I still get there in one step. I use my right foot to step into position and execute the loop. In contrast, players often serve, then move left foot, then right foot. So, many of you aren't slow because you lack speed, but because you're adding an unnecessary step in the middle. Therefore, when moving to your right, avoid using a shuffle step. For amateur players whose footwork might be slower, this step could prevent you from generating any power. Your right leg should drive the movement, pulling the left leg along. It shouldn't be a left-right shuffle. Okay, give him a fast, long push and let me see. Just stand here to make it more challenging for yourself. No, you still moved your left leg first. Yes, that's correct. Lead with the right leg. And don't just plant your feet. Let your left leg follow through a bit. Push off with your right leg. See how much smoother that is? You use your right leg to generate power and get into position. It's not a left-right sequence. The left-right shuffle makes you a step too slow. For a ball like this, you'd just be a spectator. If you use left-right footwork, you can only watch the ball go by. The correct way is to push off with your right leg to move. It should be a stable motion. Your right leg finds the position and timing, and your right leg generates the power through pushing off and rotating. This is a large movement. Once you master this, serve and attack will feel much easier. Give it a try. Use your right leg. Correct, that's excellent. First, recover, then move with your right leg. If you move your left foot first, then your right, you will absolutely have same arm, same leg timing on any fast ball. If you loop like that, you lose your lower center of gravity, power loading, and hip rotation. It's all gone. As you step across, you should simultaneously be loading your body for the shot. And your recovery must also be fast. All backhand to forehand footwork is based on this principle. Use your right leg. When the ball comes, get low, step across, and push off. It's all one fluid motion. Only consider using 2 steps for balls that are extremely wide, outside the sideline. Remember, use your right leg to generate power and your right leg to find your position.